I'm Zach Ludwig. I do vocals for Apate. How you
I'm
going?
Caleb. I play guitar, and yeah, we've been a band for like 8 or 9 years now. Just been playing gigs from the Brizzy area, and we just released our record Rage not that long ago. The deluxe edition with a couple extra singles through Human Warfare. So yeah,
Beautiful, guys. Thanks for joining
that's
us tonight.
Yeah, lovely to be here,
thank
man.
you.
Thanks for having
Thanks
me.
for
No
yeah, we
worries.
appreciate it.
My pleasure, man. So, as we say, a party last week took out the Queensland leg of the Good Things Battle to play at the Brisbane Good Things show on December the 4th. So, firstly, congratulations.
Yeah, cheers, man. Means a
Thanks,
lot.
man. Yeah, yeah, it's a great feeling.
Yeah, I bet it is. Well, I suppose the first question I got to ask you, though, mate, like, are you ready? Like, it's winning is the one thing, but fucking, it's a pretty big step up onto that stage, mate. You ready? You
Uh,
nervous?
we're ready, brother. Trust me.
Ready as ever, man.
This is
Yeah,
we've been looking forward to for a long time. I think we're ready.
yeah,
We
Yeah,
want it.
absolutely.
We're hungry. We want to play, and we're hungry to play. So
Yeah, man.
yeah.
I was
Right.
just gonna say I hope because we're used to playing a lot of show small rooms and stuff. So, but I think our set has the energy to hopefully take a couple people that haven't seen us and make them think, oh, I'd love to come see that again. Yeah,
Yeah. That's
that's
what
the
I was
plan.
just about
Yeah.
to ask, actually. You took the words out of my mouth. Like, you used to playing on the smaller stages, like at places like the Woolly Mammoth and Brightside, and you're going to be going onto a massive festival stage. Like, from a band point of view, is it much different? Like, I know it's a bigger stage, but you're doing the same thing. So, is it much difference?
We've actually
uh,
happened to do this one time before. We won the chance to play a festival when we were like first starting out as a band. It was called Live It Up Festival, and Apate got the chance to open up the festival, and In Heart's Wake played it, and Parkway Drive headline, and there was like a bunch of like Violent Soho were there. It was a pretty cool experience, and that was when we were really young, and we ended up playing to like 3,000 kids showed up super early to watch us
Wicked.
play, which was mental. And I think we did well then, and I think we've been touring quite heavily the last few years as a band. Several months of the year just playing show back to back shows. So I think we're definitely ready for that. We've been sort of, I think our lineup now, we all play off each other quite well in that sense, just from having that much touring under our belts.
Yeah. Back to the actual heats to get like the Battle of the Bands. I will call it Battle of the Bands, but it wasn't really. But like, how did you attack each heat for that, mate? Like, on one hand, you had to be serious because it's a damn fine prize at the end of it. But on the other hand, it's no fun sort of competing against your mates. So how did you
yeah,
approach those things?
Yeah,
I don't know. There was always kind of like, for one, I hate competition. I think it's silly to have to
yeah,
compete against other bands
Mm.
to get a spot. But at the end of the day, I mean, we're all there to do the same thing. But yeah, I don't know. Always weird vibes when there's competition.
yeah. I mean, we try to take it as like it's like they're all our mates at the end of the day, so it's no like hard feelings if like they won and we lost. Like, whichever band is meant to win is going to win, I guess. And so like we still love all the bands that we played. Like all the bands that we played with were insane. Like they all put on such a good show. They all brought out a ton of people, and so like we were nervous the whole time, I guess, that like, oh, we're not sure we're going to win. Like it looks like they brought out a lot of people. Like there is a lot of times where that happened. Like pretty much every band did amazing. So it's hard to like in that competition environment, like feel like it's like that. It's like you're playing a show with a bunch of just your friends' bands, and like it was so much fun. So many people rocked out for a Wednesday night. So,
So cool. So cool. And then,
mm.
like on the serious side of things, like did you sort of go in depth, like even with your set list? Like, did you sit down and choose songs that you thought were going to best suit the bands that you'd be
Yeah,
playing with or the crowds? Like,
de-
is it
I think with this is like, I mean, we definitely knuckled down on the set list that we think flowed the best. And I think to date, it's our best set list that we've ever played. And I think we'll play it for good things as well. But we
Yeah,
definitely, we took it serious and set list wise of like, how can we keep people engaged? When's the perfect time to talk? And when's the perfect time, to have a lull of an interlude and whatnot.
minimize the gaps in between songs as much as possible. We actually changed our set list from the two different heats so that the judges didn't have to watch the same set list, and we played a softer song in the second round because we were playing with Bad Neighbor, who are like more of that rocky kind of band, and we have one soft song off our new record called Liar's Tongue. It's kind of like an ode to like the Deftones-esque, like the softer stuff that they contrast against their heavy music. And we played that, and it engaged the crowd in a different way to like just the heavy songs that we have, we carefully crafted both set lists for these rounds. And we've got a set list ready for Good Things Now as well, that we think might pull in the people that are walking through the gate and straight past where we're playing, and hopefully it catches their ear and they're like, oh, that's interesting, and just wander in to come check us out.
Nice work. So there's a shit ton of good bands at Good Things. Everyone from Bring Me the Horizon, Deftones, Ginger, Soulfly, shitloads there, mate. So who are you guys most looking forward to sharing the stage with, and why?
I think for Caleb and I, it definitely comes down to Deftones. I mean,
Deftones, baby. Let's go.
I mean, there's such a nostalgic 90s new metal shoegaze sound. And like, I guess the pioneer of the shoegaze type sound. But like, it's funny, like it's come full circle. I was supposed to see Deftones the week that COVID hit, and it got cancelled on like that first week of March.
Yeah, the show was on the Wednesday, and it got cancelled on the Monday.
Oh, bullshit.
But now playing alongside them is sick. So I really hope I get to meet Chino, not in like a sweater kind of way, but just like I would just love to meet him, have a chat.
It'd be cool to just dap him up, just dap up Chino. Pay him some respect for being the king of the music that we love.
Playing along bands like Bring Me the Horizon, like that was one of the first kind of deathcore bands I ever listened to back then when I was like 13. And that's years ago now. And then also Sleeping with Sirens. I was a big fan of Sleeping with Sirens. And like, if I was 15 again, and I knew that I was playing with them now, I would fucking freak out, man. Because like, I mean, it's to call myself.
Zach loves Sleeping with Sirens. I can vouch for that. He sweated Sleeping with Sirens hard.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, absolutely. We all love that kind of stuff. Like for me, definitely, absolutely Deftones. They're my favorite band of all time, and I was meant to go see this show with Zach too. I'm kind of bummed that 303 had to pull out, because I would really be interested to see that live, because it was like such a massive thing when we were young. There's no effects, like there's so many insane
this goes on, doesn't it?
It's huge. This is the craziest opportunity. We're just so grateful to have this.
I think one of the biggest pluses of the Good Things Festival too is there's so many Australian bands, a lot of opportunities for guys like yourselves, but there's so many Australian bands on the lineup anyway. So it just sort of shows, it shows the amount of talent that we've got in this country at the moment, and it's good for the festival organisers to chuck so many on and have faith in our own bands.
As good as alternative music in Australia, it's some of the best. Like alternative music rules. Like we have such good bands, such talented people.
Yeah, some of our good friends are actually playing the festival as well. Like the Gloom in the Corner, they have been friends of ours since like we first started touring, and they're playing it. Thornhill, friends of ours, and To the Grave as well, like friends of ours from Sydney, just like insanely talented bands that we were all kind of starting off together and like playing local shows together when we were a lot younger. Like the Polaris guys, we used to play shows with them. We played a show with them to like 100 people back in the day, 50 people.
Things like 199 in West End, it was just a small 50-pack room, and to see how big they are now is ridiculous.
We're just like, we couldn't be happier to be on a bill listed with friends of ours that have just been killing it. Like Thornhill, #1 on the Arias, like they are just we're so grateful to be put on a bill like that with so much Australian talent and international talent. It's insane.
Yeah. And I was reading through your press release before this, guys, and it says that you guys are fueled by deep revenge and a need to bleed out their aggression. Like, by the sounds of that, you just need a therapist, not an audience.
Yeah.
I think the audience is the therapy, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually have been to therapy. I'm an advocate for it 100%. But yeah, being up on stage is absolutely as much therapy as, like, you know, just seeing people connect with what you're talking about. It kind of, I guess our whole message as Apate is like talking about our own experiences and bringing things to light in a way that leaves it open to interpretation for people to be able to relate their own stories to it. And we've just been able to build like quite a tight-knit community around our music based on like, we get a lot of messages of people just saying that it like speaks to what they're going through, and that's like what keeps us kind of going, just like seeing people relate to what we're going through and seeing that we can help people by relating to them with these experiences, and like talking about it and opening the conversation to like it's okay to talk about these things has been like as much therapy as we could possibly need. But our music is definitely angry, but we're all like super nice, chill guys, and it's because, you know, the music is just what we're so passionate about, and we get catharsis through that and through the support and all the insane bands we get to play with.
And we touched on this a bit before, but you've recently released a deluxe edition of your album, Rage. So what extras are on the deluxe edition?
It would be Shinigami and Palamortis were two singles we released after. So yeah, we had, I think Rage came out like mid 2021, and then ended on Dancing on the Razor's Edge with that little lull that comes into the end. So it kind of left people guessing for a while, and we weren't sure if we wanted to put those two songs on the initial EP, but we, you know, thought it completed the whole album as a package.
No, and Palamortis, the final song of the record, is actually the final song of our set. So we kind of start with the first two songs of our record and we end with the last one, because it brings our set full circle. It's got a sample at the beginning of a guy pushing a tape getting pushed into a VCR, and then at the end it gets ejected out. So it's like a nice rounding off of the record there with those last two songs, and it's great for our set because it's like the perfect start and end to the set.
Yeah, cool. So from a band point of view, like what's the purpose behind putting out a deluxe album? Like, is it to capitalize on the initial success of the album and try and hopefully get a few new fans in? Is it to bridge the gap between albums? Like, what's the thought process there?
So I would say it's definitely a good way to, I feel like content at the moment and bands and music, it's getting shorter, and people are starting to put out singles and things like that. It's almost more viable to split up. For us was to split up like the songs and release them, like stagger them over time, because then it gives people something new and fresh in about us, rather than having, you know, we recorded them all at the same time, and we had a few that that ended up not making it onto the record. But it just kind of, it was good to be able to record all that and then release it staggered over the years so that we could make the most of it. We would have like release the initial record, go on a tour, and then release the second package, be able to go on another tour, and it just kept the content flowing out, and it makes it easier for us to be able to record all that stuff at once.
Yeah,
because then we're not constantly in and out of the studio having to take time off playing shows.
Yeah, makes sense. And the press release also hints that you may be back in the studio soon.
Yeah, we got a couple of new singles on the rise that we're keen to flesh out and get done. Just talking to some producers at the moment. So hopefully hear back soon from those. But yeah, no, we definitely, hopefully within the next 3 to 4 months, we should have a couple of new songs out.
Very cool. Very cool. And then you finish off this year, you've got the show of Good Things this weekend. And then next year you start off by playing a few shows with Dreg as well. So that should be fun, mate. Those guys are awesome.
Yeah, those guys are sick, dude. I personally saw them live for the first time. We just played a show with them in D's Nuts. And yeah, they were fucking awesome. They've got their energy live is sick. Chris is such a sick vocalist and a front man as it is. yeah, no, I was grooving big time to their set.
Yeah, no, those boys were originally Brizzy boys, and
Okay.
they started up here. They were like a local hardcore band, and they had a few people that we knew in the band back then, and then they moved to Melbourne, and we sort of have been seeing them like over the years, but we don't get to play shows together too often. And then yeah, we got to play this D's Nuts show together, and we were both just having the best time. We just meshed so well with them, and we're really really keen to rip a bunch of shows with them. And all the shows are gonna be, as far as I know, all the shows are gonna be free entry. So
Awesome.
so yeah, people can come out, get a good show for a cheap price, a great price, I would say.
Great price,
Best
yeah.
deal of the century. And yeah, they can come rock out. Although
Fantastic, guys. All right. Well, thanks very much for your time today. You are on at Good Things in Brisbane on Sunday at 12:15. What stage are you on?
Stage 5, brother.
Stage 5. So everyone get in there early and head straight to stage 5 and see Apate at 12:15. I'll be there, so we'll have a beer once you get off, boys.
Yeah, sounds good, man. We'll see you there.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us.
No worries, guys. We'll catch you in a couple of days.